my name is Shane. Just been chatting with folks about the animated Book of Mormon videos. Wondering if you had a second I can step in and chat with you and your family.
No, we don't have time right now. We're just about to have dinner.
So. Oh, kind of caught you at a bad time? You know, I just get credit for showing folks. It only takes us a second. If you have a quick minute, I can step in and give you a peek. How are you, sir? Cool. If you have just a second, I can step in and give you a quick peek.
Let me ask my wife. Hey, there's a salesman here who wants to show us some Book of Mormon videos.
I don't like salesmen.
I tell you what, just tell your wife really fast. I can actually give you guys a free one. I can either give you the Joseph Smith story for free, or Lazarus Lives, just for taking 5 minutes to see what we have. And literally, at the end of the 5 minutes, if you're not happy, you can just run me right off. Seriously, quick as I'll leave just instantly. Which one of those would you rather have, do you think?
Joseph Smith.
The Joseph Smith one?
Alright.
Sounds like the Joseph Smith one.
Alright, I'll just take just a second and give you a quick peek.
Yeah,
we
we don't really have a lot of money right now, so.
No big deal. In fact, one of the things that's been fun is, I don't know, I wasn't born in Alaska, but I definitely got here as quick as I could.
Yeah.
It took me a while, but I freaking love it here.
We love it here too. It's,
Yeah? What brought you here?
Military.
Oh, really?
You can go ahead and take a seat.
So, is this, have you been all over the place, or is this the first place you've been?
This is our second duty station. We were in South Carolina for a little while.
Oh, cool. This is way better than South Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
And I like South Carolina, too. I like to play golf. And I actually went to North and South Carolina and played golf back there. And I really love it back there, but Alaska's awesome. How long you guys been here?
Oh, about a year and a half.
Yeah? You got kids?
I have a dog.
You have a dog. No kids yet. Alright. So as far as Bailey, I think one of the things I'm gonna do is after we're done with this, I'm gonna show you what I would do if you didn't have kids.
But for right now.
But right now I want you to have kids. You can pick.
You have 10.
You have 10
I want
kids?
10 kids, so here you go.
Okay, so you got 10 kids, awesome. So you've been here for about a year and a half. What do you do in the Army then?
I'm actually in the Air Force.
Oh, Air Force. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
How dare you?
Sometimes people get that confused.
Yeah, totally.
People doing base and all that. But yeah, I'm in the Air Force.
Tanks versus airplanes. That's hard to get confused. Sorry about that.
No problem.
So what do you do for them?
I work in the cybersecurity side of things.
Oh, really? That's interesting. That's a huge thing right now, isn't it?
Yeah, they're taking everybody they can get for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think in the last month and a half, my credit cards, I've had 3 of them that have been hacked twice.
For real?
Yeah, I don't know what the heck's going on, but people make a lot of money doing that, don't they? So what do you do specifically for them then in that area?
Oh, it's classified.
Oh, you can't even talk about it?
It just...
You had to kill the last guy that you're like, okay, dude, I gotta kill you.
No, we just make sure that no threats are being taken in. We help a little bit out with like the special ops side of things. And
That's cool. So how long have you been in the Army then?
Air Force.
Or Air Force, I'm sorry.
It's been about 10 years.
10 years. Alright, that's cool. And so you got 10 kids. That's good. And so did you guys come from large families or no?
We both had
4 kids in the family.
4 kids.
So you're like, okay, we're gonna double what we both had and then add a little bit. I like that. That's a good style. Good style.
Yeah.
You guys, honestly, I'm not, making any fight of anything of having 10 kids, but you guys honestly need to get these movies. It'll cut down on the kids you have. You'll be able to watch TV a little bit. That'll be good. Just joking. I would say that though. but anyway, well, cool. So one last question before I get started. Did you guys grow up in the church or not so much?
Yeah, family goes all the way back to the beginning.
Oh, really? Yeah, you grew up in the church and both of you did. And so you've been married for about 10 years. Or you've been married longer than that though, if you have 10 kids.
11 years.
11 years, nice. I like that. That's good. But so have you guys seen the Living Scriptures before?
Oh yeah, yeah. I grew up in Utah and she was in Idaho. My parents had some of the Book of Mormon and Old Testament stuff.
Good. What part of Idaho?
Rigby.
Rigby. I grew up in Blackfoot.
Really?
Yeah. Almost next door neighbors.
Probably related somehow.
Yeah, probably. We always go to the St. Anthony Sand Dunes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, go there. And then we love to fish on those rivers, like the Henry's Fork, you know, right there out of Ashton and stuff.
Yep, I've done all of that.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
So here's the big question. This is as tough as it's gonna get. So, do you like Alaska better than Idaho?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
I do too. I do too. And I love Idaho, but
Yeah.
what I'll do really quick is we're just college students, so we're just been coming through the area, showing people the Anime Book of Mormon videos, and it's been about 8.5 years since we were here last. Is it true?
It's been about 6, 7 years.
It's been about 7 years since we were here last time, and people have been really, really excited, and the people in your ward have been so good. Your ward's awesome. How do you guys like your ward?
There's ups and downs, you know, the army guys in the ward, they're a little, you know, prideful, but, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, we work through it.
that's cool. So you guys have a lot of lessons on like the Sons of Helaman and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, yeah, the people here have been super excited, and the main reason that people have been excited is they're just sick of all the garbage on TV, and they're just looking for something different for the kids to watch. And so I always tell people, if you've ever thought about getting Living Scriptures, now is the best time because we're running a really cool special. And as we go around, everybody says exactly what you said at the front door. You know, we don't have any money, money's tight right now, and things are rough. But what people have found, literally, is that it's super easy to do. So I'll just show you. You guys can tell me what you like. If you see something cool, if not, honestly, it's no big deal. I'll give you the free one I told you, and we can go from there. All right? So I'm just gonna go ahead, and normally I would move a little bit closer. I guess I can still do that, but, so I can handle my stuff.
Cool.
But anyway, we'll just use this. Let's use this. So what I'm gonna do, and normally I would sit on the floor too. Okay, I'm not me because I kill my ankle, but so that's the first series we have. Now, did you guys notice how long I took in the setup? How long did it say?
That?
Okay.
Oh, the whole setup took about like 5-6 minutes.
Yeah, and that's what I like to do. Now, the next section is when I get to where the programs are, what I want to do is I want to explain how the programs work and stuff like that. I want to be there at about 16 minutes. Are you guys doing it that fast or no?
Yeah.
That's all the family.
Chatting.
Okay. But did you see how I just kind of chatted about whatever, and even though we were kind of role playing, did it seem kind of real?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just talking about stuff. Okay, so that's the way I'm going to be with everybody. But you're going to bring up the church, you're going to bring up Alaska, you know, what do you like to do, what brought you here, you're going to bring up where you raised in the church, and those things just to get them talking. Get
Yeah.
them relaxed. Alright, so that's the Book of Mormon series, and what happened is Richard Rich, who was with Disney, did Lady and the Tramp, Fox and the Hound, Peach Dragon, and some of those other movies. He's the one that's done our animations. And what they did is they did 6 Book of Mormon videos, and they did 6 New Testament videos in the beginning. And what happened is each one of those videos cost about $700,000 a piece to do. And so the company is super small, and the LDS market's kind of a niche market, it's really little, so they couldn't afford to do them all at once. So what happened is they did the first 6 in each of those series, and people signed up to get them sight unseen. So they deliver them, when another one was done, they'd send it out. Well, people kept writing in and saying, can you do more, can you do more? So they ended up doing 13 in the Book of Mormon, then they did 24 on the New Testament. And it goes all the way through the parables that the Savior taught, and all the major stories like the Christmas story and the Easter story and some of those other stories, John the Baptist, Prodigal Son, Good Samaritan. But the thing that's really fun is, how old are your kids then? You have 10 of them, they're from what to what? Well, let me guess, if you've been married for 11 years, you've got a 13-year-old, I'm just joking. You've had one every year, so you have a 10 through 8-month-old.
2 months old.
Oh, okay, I was off a little bit.
And we were a little slow on the last one.
That's okay.
She was still trying to convince me one more.
One more. Are you guys done, or are you going to have more?
There's no way he'd let me.
You know he let you
We'll
have.
probably adopt some.
Alright.
Probably
Well-
not if we buy these movies, you know, we don't have any money for our kids, so.
Well, what I'll do is, let me just, like I said, what people kept doing is they kept saying, can you do more, can you do more? And so people kept writing in and doing that. So then we did a set on the Old Testament. They've done Abraham and Isaac, Samuel, Daniel, Esther, Elijah, Ruth, Moses, down through. And it's been estimated that 70% of the members of the church have never read the Old Testament. I think they honestly counted me twice in that. but anyway, I actually have read the Old Testament, but some of the greatest stories are in there, and I really like them. In fact, one day we were in church, and this guy, his son was acting up, and they brought him in, and they were talking about the difference between Elijah and Elisha. Now, a lot of adults probably couldn't explain, the difference between the two. Well, the teacher said to this elders quorum, "Who can tell me the difference?" And no one could answer. So this little boy who'd been acting up, he goes, "I can." And they're like, "Oh, this should be good." And so anyway, he goes on, and then you hear him explain the difference between Elijah and Elisha. And everybody in the elders quorum's like, "What the heck? How did he do that?" And he goes, we have to look in scriptures. And so what's really cool is it candy coats the scriptures and makes them really easy to go down. And you have obviously a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8-year-old. And especially for them, they're not at the point where they can read yet. Your 9 and 10-year-old are starting to read. But by the time they get to the point where they can read, they already know the stories. And they have a love for Ben-Hadad. In fact, when my kids were little, my 6-year-old and 4-year-old were downstairs, and my little boy says to my little girl, he goes, "If you are ready to die, we are ready for war." And my daughter's like, "I have waited 40 days to shed the blood of an Israelite, and it might as well be yours." And they're down there playing David and Goliath in the basement with my wife, Sash. And I was like, how many people know what the Ark of the Covenant is, or who the Philistines are? And they're 6 and 4, and they get that. In fact, I have to tell you, this happened 2 weeks ago. We're doing Old Testament. So they say, who can tell me the story of Samuel? So my wife raises her hand. This is just like 2 weeks ago. Raises her hand. Goes through the whole thing and what happened and how he was made prophet and when he was called and everything. Well, she's going through that, and she leans over to me and she goes, "Ladies, and then back." And so the thing that's cool is even the adults love to watch them because of the things you can learn. And even if you've been raised in the church, you'll be asked questions by your kids. You'll be like, "Holy cow." In fact, my son is 17 now. He was 3.5 years old. And one day we were sitting there. He goes, "Dad, I don't get it." And I'm like, "Get what?" He says, "If Heavenly Father's in heaven and Mary was on earth, how did they have Jesus?" I'm like, "I don't know, son, but when you figure that out, you're going to have to get back with me and tell me. I'm not sure how all that worked." But anyway, it's really cool, and they can ask questions that way. That dog's going to have to go. I'm going to have to get my 44 So, dead dog.
Or squeak. Yeah, sometimes.
So anyway, after they got done with the Old Testament, people kept writing in and saying, "Can you do more? Can you do more?" Then we did a series on the heroes.
Yeah.
In that series, they've been Columbus, Edison, Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln. My favorite one is the story of Edison. And they came to him and they said, "How did it feel to fail 1,000 times to invent the light bulb?" He says, "Oh, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I just learned 1,000 ways it wouldn't work. The key's to go on to 1,001. And then they came to him and they said, "How does it feel to be the most inspired inventor of all time?" And he goes, "Well, it was 99% perspiration, 1% inspiration, so I guess you can say I'm the most perspired inventor of all time." And so they're really, really good stories and principles for the kids to learn. But most people love to use these on Sundays to help keep the Sabbath day holy. They call them their Sunday movies. And other people really like to use them for family home evening and to give them ideas. Because each one of them has a quiz at the end, and you can watch the movie and then do the quizzes, and you can kind of see what your kids know and what they don't know, and people really like that. But not saying we're going to get them, but if you were, when do you think your family would use them the most?
All week long.
Yeah, we probably will, use them a little bit, but I don't. How much are they? Like, you may just get like a couple movies, like.
Yeah, actually, we have a couple programs, and honestly, I'm just going to tell you about 2 more things. I'll be right there, and I'll tell you about the packages, and then you guys can pick which ones you like. Is that okay?
I guess, yeah. We're more like bottom line people, so
Sweet. I'll be really quick about it. So anyway, that's the Hero series, and so right here you have the Book of Mormon, the New Testament, the Old Testament, and then the Hero set. We can set those right there. Now, do you guys like history or not so much?
I love it.
You love history? How are you?
I always did bad in history in school, so I don't really like it.
Yeah, okay.